Alright, drafters, March of the Machine is still a couple of months away, but we have seen some of the early spoilers at the First Looks event that was at MagicCon Philly, and it's looking really interesting. We've got some really spicy cards coming, and a lot of people are talking about it, a lot of people are really excited for it, and it is looking to be a good set, even though we've only seen about a dozen or so cards. I've got some ideas of what's going to be coming with the rest of the spoilers, which I probably won't be seeing for a good month yet, and I just thought I'd make a video to share them because it's more interesting to do it this way instead of keep them to myself. Bold speculation, I don't expect any of these to actually happen, but I think it'd be cool if we did see some of them, and there's some reasons for it as well. So I've got these 3 ideas. I'll take you through them kind of in an increase in order of how interesting I think they are, how hot I think they are, and just coolness, I suppose. First up, one thing I've noticed in the spoilers is there's no actual mechanics spoiled in them. And this is me interested. It might just be one of those things. It might be an absolute coincidence, and I totally get that. But usually at the first looks, we'll see just one of the set mechanics that's going to be in there. We have seen some quite complex stuff going on. There's lots of different things that are going on. So this one's kind of split into 2. It's either there's going to be no set mechanics at all, which I think is the least likely of them, or there's going to be a lot of set mechanics. I'm not going to be talking like the amount of in Modern Horizons 1 mechanics where there was just pretty much any mechanic they could think of was going to be in, but maybe a lot of things like cycling, a lot of things like flashback, which we know how they work, and it's not too difficult to see them. You know, Affinity as well. A lot of these have been named recently that are kind of deciduous, and we can use the developers can use them a bit more commonly in sets when it's not a real set mechanic because people know how they are used, and just to really put a bit of a crazy across the planes flavour on what's going on. So yeah, I think that's the one that's more likely, although I'm kind of backing it up a little bit with saying there's going to be no actual set mechanics, but I think that's a little bit more boring. But yeah, we're going to be seeing loads of set mechanics, and it's going to represent the stuff that's going on across all of the planes. My next idea is coming off the back of having the team of legendary creatures where you get like Yargle and you get Multani and you mash them together and you get a big combined creature. We've also seen a really cool one with Thalia and the Hypnotoad, the Gitrog monster, and you know, they're mashed together into a really cool Abzan creature as well. So we've seen these coming up, and they've been a little bit cagey about how many Planeswalkers are going to be in the set. I'll clip it in here now so you can see what they actually said.
Well, as I think you know, it's a little bit hard to answer how many Planeswalkers. At least 3 Planeswalkers, and then...
At least 3, but less than 10.
Yeah.
So there's definitely going to be something going on, and it actually links with my next prediction as well, and it could be one or the other, it could be both, but I think it's going to be a team-up Planeswalker. A big problem with this is there's not a huge amount of Planeswalkers left. I won't think that there'll be any of the 5 remaining ones from that was saw on Phyrexia, on New Phyrexia in the last set. Don't think, well, obviously it's not going to be Chandra, so if we don't have that, who's it going to be? We've got Teferi, which we could see he could come back, he could be teaming up with somebody. I do think it's quite likely. I think it's going to be probably my most likely of the predictions here, because it seems like the type of thing that we would want to do. You know, it could be that one of the Planeswalkers gets saved and then they team up with another Planeswalker. I doubt we're going to see like a Chandra and Nissa, because you know, even though that would be cool, because we've already seen a Chandra card and we know Nissa's been completed, but there's definitely scope to put a couple of the lesser known Planeswalkers together and see what they can do together. Before I go on to the last prediction, I want to give a big thank you to everybody who supports the channel. It still blows my mind that there's so many people out there who want to listen to this guy from Northeast England chat about Magic and just absolute rubbish a lot of the time as well, but apparently you do, and that's great. As ever, there's a thank you, well, not as ever, but there's a thank you code in the comments for the first person that gets there, just to say thank you. I've also linked one of my favourite videos I've done over the last year, where I talk about some of the more affordable sets to buy to draft with friends. And, you know, it seemed to be quite popular. I think it's, you know, I like the topic of the video, and it's one that's close to my heart. So I'll link that in there. Feel free to give that one a watch if you want to. It's probably also up on the card now if I remember to put it in as well. But yeah, check that one out. And again, thanks for everybody who supports the channel. It does really, really mean a lot. So, what's my spiciest take of what we're going to see? Well, it's based on seeing the Jin Cataxius, and he had the Kamigawa Neon Dynasty treatment of a transforming saga. So, creature on the front side transforms into a saga. I think that's the reverse of the way that it worked on Kamigawa, but you can definitely see the idea, and he was on there for a little bit. So, I think we're going to see 2-sided versions of all of the Praetors, and these are probably going to be the only 2-sided cards in the set. So, we'll have maybe something in Innistrad with their transforming cards. The other 4 that I can think of are the MDFC spells from Strixhaven. You have the MDFC kind of gods equipments that were had on Kaldheim. There was the MDFC lands from Zendikar Rising, and there's also the Flipwalkers from the original Magic Origins, and then we had it M19 with Nicol Bolas as well. So it's, you know, there's been a few different ways we've seen these in the past. And to put a bit more credence to this as well, we have seen hints that there's going to be a Planeswalker Elesh Norn, because we saw some portrait out of her at Philly. I think it was just around the hall. It's been doing the rounds on Reddit and Twitter and things. And portrait art usually implies there's going to be a planeswalker, so we're likely to see that one. So yeah, I think that is something that we are quite likely to see. I think, you know, if we put Elish Norn at Dominaria, then that can be her origin, and she's going to flip into the planeswalker version of herself. What else could we see? Could be a Vorinclex land on Zendikar. That would make sense. Green Vorinclex turns into a land, or is a land, or an MDFC land, or something like that. Could be a vampire or a werewolf Urabrask on Innistrad. That would be pretty sweet as well. You know, I don't know how it would quite work, but some cool ideas there. Anyway, that's it for today's wild ideas. Let us know in the comments if you think any of them are remotely feasible. It has just dawned on us that we could have the twins from Eldraine as the team-up planeswalker, but we've already seen that, so maybe not. You know, I hope that isn't the way they do it if they go down that route, but, you know, we could see them. But yeah, let us know if you think any of them are remotely feasible, if you think any of them are absolutely ridiculous, and just generally what you think of the video. Thanks again. Be sure to check out the other videos, especially the one in the comments. I do really like that one, and I'll catch you again in the next video. Bye.